All right, YouTube. Sorry about that, but I am back. I'm gonna go grab something real quick. What's up? 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 Come on, come on. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the stream. I have some customer service work that I had to do. So I took care of that. Now I got more customer service work I need to do. Usually in the weekends when people install stuff, when they install stuff, they find issues, and I made a mistake. So I'm getting more and more into the call retention button. So uh, hold on, some guy just texted you guys. Oh, okay, all right. So basically, if you have a 2012, these are the people who are really messing with me right now. So I appreciate y'all. Um, They have a 2000 and oh, what is ChatGPT up on the screen for? Exposing me, bro. ChatGPT out here exposing me. Oh, hold on. Yeah, exposing my ass. It's not even on the screen anymore. ChatGPT, what is you doing, bro? I can't believe ChatGPT exposing me like that. Okay. All right. So here's what I was trying to tell you. You have a 2009 to 2012 Acura TL. You want to keep. Uh, hold on. Okay, yeah. Open. All right. So you want to keep the call control button. So let me zoom this picture as much as I can in. Okay. So right here, you want to keep these two buttons. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. You want to keep these two buttons on the steering wheel. So these are plug and play. These are a separate circuit. So you want to keep them. You need to tap what is called the HFL. So one sec, let me look that up. Log on real quick. So we got a 2012 Acura TL. Shout out to the TL crowd, baby. 2012. I look up HFL system description, which tells us the connector. Oh, you can't even see that. So I sent the customer a 28 pin connector. I'm gonna show you on my camera real quick. So, oh, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. So the customer, I sent them a 28 pin connector, which is this connector right here. If you count the number of pins, it's 28 pins. Thinking this was the right one, this is the wrong one. On your TL, there's a 36 pin connector, but that's not it either. It is the 32 pin connector. So we got to send them the right one. And I'm going to show you which pins are the ones to keep the call control buttons. Because this HFL in your 2012 is right behind the radio, so you could easily keep these buttons. You do have to do some manual programming. It is very tight to tap the wires. So right here we have pin 3. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Pin 3, it says, sorry, pin 2, HFL string, HFL switch. Believe it or not, you can keep your factory mic. I always tell you can. You can if you go and grab the signal at the HFL. It's these two wires, and then you splice it to your factory. But sometimes they are noisy. There is sometimes a shield you have to hook up. But it's always you have to go and find the HFL. And finding the HFL in your car is a little complex. You have to run wires to it, tap wires, etc. So we are working on a line of plug-and-play connectors for the HFL to help you pair with the AXWC. But they're all kind of in test mode. So this is one of the customers that's testing for us. He wanted to keep these buttons. This is something he wanted to do. So we're like, hey, if you do it, you can provide us documentation. We will help you make this plug and play. So that's what I'm doing. On your AXWC harness here, there's a bunch of wires, right? These two are CAN bus wires. So when you have a Ford or a GM product, you're only going to hook up these wires. The exception is the Honda Civic. The Honda Civic does have CAN bus for some steering wheel controls. Everything else is a resistive reading. So on your Acuras and your Hondas, your resistive two wires that you use is usually always this gray blue and this gray red. So in his case, he's going to be using gray blue. So I'm going to just take this out of the harness and then terminate it with what we need it to be terminated with, put it in the right pin, and send it off to him. This is so he doesn't have to wiretap, because wiretapping can be difficult here. Navigation microphone, HFL mute. I wonder what that does, HFL mute. But we care about the switch. There's no HFL switch ground, right? HFL controlling shield, HFL steering wheel switch, HFL mute, mic ACC, hip nav command 1 and 2, gear shield, tone shield. No, okay, no, we should be good. That should be the only wire we need. Let's put the right terminal on it. This is all in theory, so it's very hard. Like, there's a lot of products I wish we could launch and a lot of things that I wish I could market, but because we don't have these vehicles, we don't have the ability to test these products. And without testing it, I'm not going to sell it to you to set you up for it to not work and then you be mad and then you spend money on something that doesn't work. So there's a lot of products that aren't listed on our website that exist that just you'll never know about because they haven't been tested and we haven't had the ability to test them. Excuse me. So if I'm looking at this correctly, 17 is off to the side, so that's 17. So that means that's 1, that's 2. If I'm looking at this correctly, 17 is off to the side. Oh, no. So I was looking at it wrong. 17 would be off to the side. 1 would be flush. So that would be 1. This would be 2. Right? 1 and 2. And then 16 ends with space. Yep, that's right. That's in the right place. And then let's put this in there all the way. We'll hear a click. There we go. And that's it, guys. This is literally the only wire that needs to get hooked up. It's just making this through the connector instead of having to wiretap saves you so much time and effort. And that's why you want to make these connectors available, but without fully testing them. Like, let's say I sell you this connector, but then this doesn't work. You're going to want your money back. But, like, I don't know if it works yet or not. It has to get tested. I don't have a car to test it on. So this customer's helping us out. And then he will be helping the community out by allowing this, if it works, to be accessible to everyone. All right. I think that's all my weekend service. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. A lot of stuff, people will try to hit me up on Saturday and Sunday. And I'll try to help them. And then I end up with like stuff that I forgot to write down, which is a bad habit I have that I need to stop. Because I'm trying to help you in the moment, but then it hurts you long term because then I'll forget. And I didn't write it down because I'm not in front of a computer. I'm not working, you know. I'm just on my phone trying to do it. So then I'm like, yeah, I'll send that out to you at so-and-so date. I'll send it out to you on Monday. And then Monday comes and then I forget. I didn't write it down because I wasn't working. I was doing other stuff. But I was just trying to help you in the moment. But I've gotten better at it. Alright, let's see what else is next. Alright, we got 4 amps. 4 amps. Oh, we got speakers. Damn, we got a bunch of stuff still. What is it? 232. Yeah. Let me get these speakers out. I have the kits. Yeah, okay. Come on, hurry up and print. I don't know why it does this sometimes, man. But yeah, YouTube, I had to, what the hell, why did I say I'm offline? But then it says I have viewers. I'm very confused here. All right, so I have one viewer. What's up, one viewer? What happens if I turn on monetization? Oh, it didn't do anything else? No, 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 no. I don't, sorry. I don't want monetization on my streams yet. They're not even good enough to turn on monetization. Um, I'm gonna go get these speakers while that waits to print. Let's put this in here. So we got some Infinity speakers we sold. Let's go clap it up for the Infinity speakers, baby. For some weird reason, we don't sell a lot of these, even though I like the Infinity speakers a lot. I think they take, they're just good speakers, man. I don't know how to say, like, between the JBLs and the Infinities, it's a hard decision. And sometimes you're like, like JBL, Infinity, what's the difference here? What's the difference? So I'm gonna get that for you real quick. I'm gonna show you. Let me just zoom this camera out. Let me bring this up, and then twist it this way. Sorry, I don't want you to see like my feet. This isn't that kind of stream, if you get what I'm saying. All right. So, Infinity. I know it's going to be a little hard to see them all. JBL. So, first off, size box difference. Let me focus on one. The um, JBL speaker box is a little thicker and shorter than the Infinity speaker box. Big difference in these speakers off the bat is the crossover. This has a actual crossover box. So you see the picture. It has a modular crossover that you screw into. This only has a passive crossover. This is a passive crossover as well, but this crossover is only meant for the tweeters, and it is an inline crossover, very easy to install compared to this. Excuse me. Then we're going to look at power rating. The Primus Infinity line that we sell has 60 watts RMS. The JBL is only 50 watts RMS. The tweeters are extremely similar. They're the same size. The mounting is the same size. The woofers look identical. I think the magnets are identical almost. But then we're going to look at the back, and we're going to look at some. Is that where it is? Or is it here? I'm just trying to find you all the specs. Hold on one second. I guess it's going to be back here somewhere. Okay, so this is what we wanted to look at, our sensitivity and our frequency response. So I know that's going to be hard to read, but that sensitivity says 2.83 volts or 92 dB. And then this says a frequency response of 55 hertz to 20 kilohertz, power handling of 50 watts RMS. And then here are the dimensions of the speaker and the tweeter. Everything's shown here. On the Infinity, remember we said 60 watts RMS. Where is our crossover? Where's our suggested? Hold on, just gotta read here. Doesn't say it on there. Did I miss it on here? Here it shows you the inline crossover it's talking about. Can't believe I'm just going over my head here. No, it's not on there. Is it on the side here? Here we go. It's on the side here. So this has a 92 dB sensitivity. They're almost the same as I was saying, but the frequency response. Oh, that's weird. Why does it say negative 6 dB? I wonder what that means. But it's 55 to 20,000 kilohertz, and then they're both the impedance. This says 3 ohms. This says 3 ohms. Crossover point is 5 kilohertz at 12 dB octave. That's good to know. This doesn't even tell you that. Okay. And then you can see the design of the woofer is extremely similar. So you're like, what the hell is the difference between these speakers? And it is the way they reproduce sound. The tweeters are a little bit, even though they're the same size and look extremely similar, have a little bit of a different design to them, so they do sound different. This also has a higher crossover point than this one. These are marketed more as woofers. Hold on, you can't even see my face. Just talking to my chin. Hold on one sec, guys. Hold on. Okay. Now you can see my. Okay. Let's zoom out there and then bring the camera a little more up. Okay. So then these are marketed as sound quality or SQ speakers. Speakers that are going to sound really good for vocals and music. And then your JBL are marketed as loudspeakers. What that means is that this is meant to get really loud and not distort. It's not going to reproduce sound the most accurately, but it's going to get your booms and your bass out there, and it's going to sound good. Ideally in practice, these are going to sound extremely similar. It's just a tweeter that's going to be the big difference. I can't tell you which tweeter you're going to like better. It's like something where you actually have to hear it to know. Um, and the ease of installation. So if you were installing this outside of your Acura without the tweeter harness, these would be easier to install than these. And then the power handling as well. This is rated for 50 watts. This is rated for 60 watts. But if you're using these on the stock amp, they're interchangeable. My recommendation though has always been JBL. I stick with JBL, but we do sell Infinity. Infinity makes great speakers. I can't say that anything bad about them. It's just your personal preference, what your goal you're trying to achieve. When it comes to the rear speakers, they are very different. So this has two variations. There's the 6.3F and the 6.2F. We normally carry the 6.2F, not the 3F, and that refers to the number of drivers. So this has a tweeter and then a nano tweeter. I don't even know what that's called. And then a woofer. So this is a three-way. That's why it has a three. The 6.2F, will only have the center speaker, and that's really what we'd rather sell. It's just sometimes they're out of stock, so we carry the 6.3F. But you can see that the Primus line is only the tweeter, embedded tweeter. And there are some differences here in the woofers. When it comes to overall size, they're very extremely similar, and to power handling as well. So I can put these side by side. Oh man, I think this guy left a bad review, man. Damn it, man. Oh, he didn't leave a bad review. Let's see what he said. Okay. Yeah, that went the way it needed to go because I was going to be upset if it didn't. I had to take care of that customer. We messed up. But these are rated for 50 watts. These are rated for 45 watts RMS. Um, again, 92 dB, 55 to 20,000 kilohertz, impedance of 3 ohms. Let's go to here. 50 watts RMS. This at 45 watts RMS. Silk dome tweeters. Just tell me what the tweeters made out of. +1 woofer cone, vented frame basket. Nope. Same sensitivity, frequency response is the same, 3 impedance, and the same octave before as the crossover. So again, these are extremely similar. I recommend JBL over the Infinity, but Infinity is not a bad choice. The way they're marketed, loudspeaker, sound quality speaker, these do take a little bit more power. I think these have the newest refresh. These were just recently refreshed, like last year. They're still selling the same model for the next last 5 or 6 years. These, as you could see, were out in 2022. So JBL, my recommendation, but if you want Infinity, just as good. I think the JBLs are going to get a refresh on the fronts and rears, and I think when they refresh the speakers, they're going to use these on the JBLs as well. All right, let me go put these away. All right, Don, sorry about that. Let me see what your questions are. What is a typical turnaround time on wire harness, and what's a good speaker replacement for the stock Civic SI with 7? Have you found so that will fit in where the stock sub is? All right, so my speaker replacement, we just talked about speakers. You could go JBL or Infinity. Both will work really well. I recommend the JBLs, but it's totally up to you, whichever one you want to choose. But those would be my two recommendations. Also, you have 4 ohm speakers, so you can get Pioneers. You can get any speakers you want. You don't have to get them from us. Just JBL is my most recommended speaker because it's so easy to install and it just sounds good. But you do have a limitation on the door cavity. So like, hold on, this thing's like bouncing around. And what I mean by that, okay, is the hole of the door is small in a weird shape, so you can't fit like a huge magnet in there. But any traditional speaker should work no problem. I don't think you'll have an issue with if you went with Kenwood, Alpine, any of those brands. When you go Scar, or like online only brands that sell these big speakers that like have huge magnets, those might not fit in the door that well. Uh, you can cut the door, but you have a ton of options on your Civic. You're not limited to. The reason why we carry JBL and Infinity mostly is because on the Acuras, most of them have 2 ohm speakers. On your Civic, that won't be the case. Now for the sub, hold on, where did I put it? It fell earlier. I don't even know where the hell I put it. Oh, here. Now for the actual sub, um, the kicker is a good choice, but this magnet's too big, so these terminals get in the way as well. So it makes it so you have to cut the metal back there. So if you want something you definitely don't have to cut for, you want a shallow mount woofer, and you can look at the Kicker Comp RT line, and those are shallow mounts. I'll show them to you in a second. Let me just pack this order because the postman will be here soon. I need to send this with the post office. Also, I don't have my mic on me. My mic's like clipped onto one of the cameras, so you may not hear me as clear as when I walk away, and that's my own fault. I need to get in the habit of not talking if I'm not on camera. All right. So then all this needs are wire harnesses, and foam gaskets. What's up, Spark? Missed you yesterday, man. I guess you were too busy with that football. Or the stream was really late. That was my fault. Well, not really. It's just the way life goes. But we were here. All right, so that's good. Then we need the other set. Yeah, I understand, man. I understand. I don't blame you one bit. I wish that could have been me. But I had one of my printers fail on me last night, and then I couldn't fix it, and then it was just pissing me off, and I just been working without it. I've been trying to make it work without it, but it does slow you down. Um, you get to print nearly as much. I lost one printer before, and I kind of let it go. I like stopped trying to work on it because it was just pissing me off the amount of times that it would not work. So now I have a second printer that decided to do that to me. So later tonight, tonight's stream is going to be fixing printers. I'm going to put on my 3D printer repair hat and fix those 2 printers. Or if not, we're going to break one and smash it with a hammer. One of the two is going to happen because fixing printers sucks. That's one thing about 3D printing that's very tough. And when you have a problem, there's no one you can call. There's certain companies that do sell like let's say you buy a 10 grand printer, that'll come with support. But like you buy a 2 grand printer, usually no one you can call. Um, if you buy like a $600 printer, all you get is community support. So I gotta figure those out on my own. This mess I have right in front of me is a speaker set. So the front and rear speakers for Acura TL 2004 to 2008. Um, let's go, baby. Just gotta order for ILX Dash Kit. Let's go. All right, so back to what I was saying. These speakers are for 2004 Acura TL. So the front and rear spacers are different. I'm just adding the phone to the rear spacers. One second. So front spacer, kind of thick. Look at that, thick boy. Rear spacer a lot thinner. And it's just the nature of the game. Also, different mount patterns. So like, look, this is like a triangle, like a weird triangle. This is a perfect circle, or perfectly enough. So the last thing we need are tweeter harnesses and tweeter cups. 2004 TL does have different tweeter cups than the rest of the other Acuras. So very weird thing. Tweeter cups on every other Acura, including your Honda Civic, are these. You see how they have these ridges, and they are more open, like they kind of have a flare. TL, very small, completely round, and only 3 compared to the 6 here, but you do end up only using 3 to cut off. So the Acura TL is the only car that has them this way. So we got to make sure we put the right ones. And then we need tweeter harnesses. I think we're down to our last bag of tweeter harnesses too. We're about to run out of tweeter harnesses. I have ordered more and they're on the way, but right now we ain't got that many. Watch, now we're gonna start selling tweeter harnesses and speakers a bunch. Whenever I'm starting to run out of stuff is when it starts to like get hectic, and then you start stressing. Like, damn, do I have enough? Am I gonna run out before they get here? But when you have like a full event, like a full inventory of stuff, no one really buys it. It slowly dwindles down, but it's like when you're running out that like everyone comes and tries to buy everything you have left. So funny that it always works that way. But all right, so here are the tweeter harnesses and tweeter cups. I showed them to you. This is all set to go. I can put this in a box. I say find the right box, honestly. So 15, 15, 10 is not going to fit because they're bigger than 15. I think they're 16. Hold on, we got to measure. Oh, no, it should fit right into a 15, 15, 10. Let me grab one. Just got a bunch of emails right now. What am I want to say? It's crazy watching your kids grow up, bro. Deadass. So crazy watching them grow up. We start off as this little thing that can barely talk, move. And then, like, my child's only 10 months, but, like, watching the transformation from freaking 3 months to 10 months is, like, so crazy. So crazy. What a blessing that is. Okay, what did you say? That's the sound, so, all right. Yeah. You're not the only one, my friend. People usually get the JBLs, but I was just talking about how the Infinities are just as good. Can even sound better depending on the music you listen to. So let's get these in here. These speakers first. Alright, good. This box more than big enough. Let's get ourselves some paper real quick. about the crumpling noise. I just found that paper works the best. I found that packing paper works the best because peanuts are too messy, and then like padding like. And then bubble wrap padding is too restrictive, so then it makes it hard. So the best setup is gonna be packing paper. At least that's how I feel. All right, so that's set up, ready to go, baby. Shout out to this guy getting new set of speakers. Hope that rear seat and that rear deck come off easy and you don't scratch the interior of the car, because taking out that rear seat and you scratch the car will piss you off, man. So I hope that doesn't happen to you. I hope it's a nice, simple, easy install. All right, Dallas, I'm going to ship this and then we're going to talk about that sub replacement. All right, let's put this by age now. Got some orders that are old. This guy's been waiting for a while. All right, this is where we got to jump in. He'll have it tomorrow, though. So we just got to get it done. And my printer wants to be stupid again. Let's go. Because you're connected to the wrong network. Totally. Yep. There we go. No, not a new version. Oh, hold on. You guys can see that. The new version is not available yet. Trust me, I want to make the new version, but I don't have the money to make the mold. It's like another 20 grand. I'm still trying to pay off the 20 grand I owe. Well, no, it's more than 20 grand, but since this is a revision, a new mold is more than 20 grand, but the revision would be 20 grand. But I'm gonna see if I can find it, the revision to show you. It's in my picture somewhere. Just give me 1 second. That's gonna take forever to find though. Now if I go to screenshots, because that's where it would be. Where's the screenshots album? Restore video screenshots. I took a screenshot of my dog taking shit, bro. It's too funny. Alright, hold on. I should be able to find it relatively quickly in here. Damn, maybe not. No way, bro. It's in here somewhere. Sorry, guys. I screenshot a lot of shit. No, it's not in here though. Oh wait, maybe. Um, okay, so this is one of the screenshots. So if I show you my phone real quick, uh, bro, my phone's here. I'm gonna try and zoom it in. All right, so here's a normal design, right? Then we were supposed to add a cutout there. So then it was going to look like that. That's how the new design would look with the cutout. That's supposed to be a pocket there. Um, but then we decided to actually move the entire radio down and make the pocket circular. So this was version 1.2, version 2.0. This I can do. This I can do with a CNC machine and the correct printout. I've already confirmed that. But version 2.0 requires a new mold, and that's the one I was trying to get you a picture of, but I don't have it here. It's on my desk. I have to have a picture of it. Where's downloads? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find my download. Here we go. So here's version 1.1, right? That's what 1.1 looks like. This is what 1.0 looks like. 1.1 will have the cutout down here, but it'll still be the same setup. This is 2.0. But this requires a new mold, and it's much too expensive right now for me to afford it. So as I sell more of these and I pay off the existing mold, I can then start saving up to make the additional. I could try to crowdfund this, uh, but there's just not that many people with an ILX, so I don't know if that would work. Um, but yeah, that would be 2.0. This is 1.0, but people still buy this one. It still gets the job done. It's just what people really hate, what I get trolled about, is this right here. And what's crazy is that I put this design out like before the dash kit was available. No one said anything about this. I didn't consider it because all the ILX, all the other dash kits have a gap here. But because this gap looks so big, because the radio sits so high up, that's what doesn't help this radio. Right, here's a bag of clips that we need to add. But I hope that answered your question. And then Dallas, I'm sorry, man, I keep getting distracted. Let's go over your sub situation. So let me pull up my computer here. Pro demand. Actually, let me just look up a sub. So 2006 Honda Civic subwoofer. Subwoofer. A subwoofer. When you have a coupe, here, let me open. And then let me go to my main screen. So when you have a coupe, the sub is completely different than the sedan. So I'm getting there. Speakers, okay, speaker. All right, so here's the coupe subwoofer. The coupe subwoofer is very weird. It has these four large holes on the outside, but then it does have interior holes. Hold on. Okay, so these large four holes. Hold on, sorry, I'm like all messed up. All right, so now you can see me. So look, let me zoom more in. I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, zoom more in right here, right? So you got to look real careful. These exterior bracket has four mounting holes. You're not gonna find a bracket. Oh, sorry. Let me move this over. Let me bring this down. Okay. So you're not gonna find a bracket that's gonna have four holes like that. It's gonna be extremely hard. Instead, what you'll find is that it has interior holes. You see one here, one here, one here, and one in the opposite corner. They come apart, and you can mount the bracket to this, but it's very hard. It's very difficult to do. It's not something that comes apart easy. And hopefully we can find a result on eBay of someone who has taken it apart. Um, Nope, we're getting all aftermarket results. All right, let's just go back to images. Damn, only our stuff comes up, which doesn't help in this situation. uh, Hold on, we're getting there. It's 2016, doesn't help us. All right, let's just go on eBay and look for it. Actually, let's go 2008 because it's going to be the same. Let's go 2009. There'll be more info on it. Um, let's go on eBay. On eBay, let's. Someone's got to be selling the factory sub. Damn, we really got to hunt for this. I just think I'm using the wrong words. So I'm just going to go Honda Civic Coupe subwoofer, and we'll see what results we get. So here are some of the results we're getting. Oh, look, this is the factory bracket for a 2012. So that's the next series up. This is a new sub. All right, let me not look that way. Let's go used. Used. There's only 3 under used. That's crazy. And that's the grill for it. All right, this is a speaker set, radio. Okay, here we go. Here's one. So this is what I'm talking about. It has these screws, and then here's the back of it. So this sub is screwed into this bracket. I just don't know how. I don't have a video or pictures of someone who has unscrewed it. But I know you can unscrew it because I've seen people do it. I had a customer tell me he was able to make it work. But the other thing I want to show you is that this magnet is very small and very shallow. This guy doesn't have a good picture of how shallow it is. Also, you can't even see. Sorry about all that. Let me start over. So here's the sub. Here's the sub, right? It has those 4 screws I was telling you about. Up there, up there, up there. So you can get the sub away from the bracket. Here's the actual sub mounted to the bracket. I don't know if it's mounted underneath or from below, but it is mounted. I'm going to see if I can find you a new one. No, that's not what it would look like. That's not what it would look like. Not what it would look like. Not what it would look like. Hold on, we'll find it. We'll find it. Just give me a chance. No, 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 no. All right. I'm just gonna look for a regular subwoofer instead of a coupe one. We're gonna go used. Why don't I have? Here we go. Used. We got 59 results. We'll see what comes up. So these are all the newer style with these ears. So this is all newer style. They have 4 ears like that. The old ones, we've seen that one already, are just round. I'll show you when I can find one. What I'm talking about. So it kind of looks like this, but that's not it either. That's an aftermarket sub, or maybe that's a factory sub that goes inside the hole of some. But that's not the sub we're looking for. Yeah, we can't even find one. That's crazy, man. All right. Let's go 2000. Actually, let's just go 2004 Acura TL subwoofer. And then we'll go used. Okay. So the factory Honda Civic sub does not look like that. I'm too dumb. Okay, so it's gonna look like this one. Hopefully this guy has good pictures. The back of it is like this. This is why I was telling you it does not look like that. So it looks like that compared to the one we just saw that looks like this. So I'll put these side by side for you. So that's not it. The bottom of this one looks like this. That's not what it looks like. It looks like that, and then here's this one. You can see that this magnet is even smaller in the coupe because of the bars. So you need something that's, I was saying before, slim, because it is such small space back there. So the first one that comes to mind is the Audio Frog 8-inch sub. I think this is dual 2 ohms, so you have to wire to 4 ohms, so you're going to lose some power. But this is the first one that comes to mind. It has a very small magnet, and it is dual 2 ohm. So you have to wire it to 4 ohms. Let's go aftermarket amp. You can wire it to 1 ohm. Um, what else do they sell that's like it? Focal. This thing is $1,300. It probably sounds amazing, but I doubt you're gonna put this for your sub. Look, here's the price. So you need something super slim. Um, let's just see what we get if we do 8-inch slim subwoofer. Because I don't even think a Comp RT is gonna fit in there correctly. Like I don't think this Pioneer is gonna fit in. What about this Exelon sub? Maybe this Exelon sub, but this is a 4 ohm sub. 4 ohm single coil, yeah, so you're gonna lose power. Pioneer sub, maybe. Um, Audio Pipe has this thing. Dual voice call 4 ohm. Try, if you want to give it a try, it's 150 watts RMS. What's my part number on this? Does Amazon have it? This might be a little quick fix. That's not the one we just saw. It is pretty shallow though, but that's not the one we just saw. This is TSF8, or maybe it was. Maybe the pictures made it look. Yeah, I think that might be it. CT sounds. I think this is not shallow enough though. You need something real, real shallow. Um, 8-inch slim subwoofer Neo Magnet. So that's what I was saying. Audio Frog wins that race. Or is this Sky High as what? This is a mid range though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Dallas. I don't know if it's worth changing that sub because the bars are gonna hit. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me pull up. I have a video. I do not know where the video is, but I wish I would have stored it in the right place. Um, but if we go to our website, right, and then you choose your year. So let's say you choose a Civic, and then you choose a 2006 to 11. The picture will change, and you'll see. Wow, what a terrible picture that is. But you'll see this. This isn't a coupe. The bars hit the sub, and on top of that, since the bars hit the sub, sorry, this thing's high. When you close the trunk lid, it rubs against the sub. I actually took this back from this customer. I'm like, hey man, I'm not gonna do that to you. I did not know that the coupe was like that. So I don't know if it's worth it to upgrade the factory sub on the coupe unless you're cool with doing a slim sub like this, like the Audio Frog. Sorry, you can't see that. Like the Audio Frog. Something you can look at. They have the, like, your car's so popular. 2006 Honda Civic. Let's go with 2008 Honda Civic coupe subwoofer enclosure. There's a bunch of these, and you can get away with a 10 or an 8 or a 12. Where like that's right there. Look, that'll fit two. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. That right there will fit two 10s. You can make them for two 12s. You can make it for two 8s. If that's too big, you don't like that, you can grab one of these that goes over there. And what is this for? This is 2017 to 2011. There are a bunch of different companies who will make these for you. Usually the cheapest ones I see are on eBay like this. And you couldn't do a single sub instead of dual 10, dual 12s. So we look at their store, and then we search their store for Civic, so there's a bunch of different configurations you can get from them. I'm just trying to see if they have the single 12 or single 10. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, excuse me. They don't. So I'm gonna go to their website. Then we'll check Scar next because Scar will have some subwoofer boxes. So I hit shop up here, vehicle specific, subwoofer specific, no, vehicle specific. We want Honda, Acura, Honda, Ridgeline Civic. All right, so this is from their website. We're gonna go with a Honda Civic sedan, 2013, 2006 12 two-door. Okay. Um, that's a great question. Great question. And yes and no. So let's see. We'll look at that next. Let's pull up Pro Demand, and then it's a very limited space though. So I doubt that he can race it with a subwoofer spacer because it's also, I don't know if you caught earlier, like the weird shape that it is. Like it's like this entire thing is it. But let's say we come up with a solution where he takes a factory sub, puts another sub in there. Um, let's go subwoofer. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna think it doesn't, but we'll see. And then remove and replace. So the whole thing bolts out. So if you add risers to this, maybe like look like you add risers to these right here. Oh, sorry, you can't even see what I'm pointing at. Let me move up. So I'm talking about these screw points right here. You add risers to. Maybe. Honestly, it looks like that could take the square bracket. Do you guys agree? Look, who's willing to try this? So if we go to subwoofers and we go to subwoofer bracket, and then we go, let's look at the metal one. So let's choose anodized aluminum, right? So tell me not, oh, hold on, this screen's too big. You guys can't even see what I'm looking at. Okay. So hold on, it's still too big. Okay. Hold on, it's still too big. I want to get everything on one frame. It's being great. Okay. So tell me not that this, let me get myself out of frame. So this, oh my god. Sorry. That shape, right? Doesn't it look like it could go into the outside of this? Like these four holes here? Like this hole, and this hole, and that hole look like that could line up. So I wonder if it does. If it does, you might be able to get a lot more creative with mounting a sub because you can mount the sub from the top. But all right, back to what we were saying about the, if you could, it's all up to this rear trim because on the coupe you have to take the rear trim off altogether. So when you take the rear trim off, how much clearance do you have up from the rear trim? This is on a sedan. Yeah, I don't know. Someone with a coupe will really need to look into it to see if they have enough clearance space. You could always just cut the top off and leave the subwoofer exposed. That's an option as well. So, hold on, why is it not? Oh, I throw it. So that might be another option where you. All right, so you need to figure out how much headspace you have above the factory baseline, the bracket, because it might be able to raise the sub some and then bring it right against the edge of this or a little against it and trim it. You could get creative that way. But if not, back to what I was saying, this box, you could tell it, hey, I only want one 10-inch. I want them to be round. Yeah, sure, give me extra mounting depth. Go binding post terminal. No, you don't need mounting screws. Yes, for one subwoofer speaker wire, sure. And that, what does that come out to? That comes out to $291, which is a little pricey, but you are getting a custom box for 210s, 212s, whatever you want to do. And then I said we're going to look at SCAR real quick. SCAR audio. And then we're going to go to loaded enclosures, vehicle specific. Did I pass Honda? Honda. And then 2017, 17, 17, 18, 17. Yeah, 2023. All right. The other company that makes one is called A-Trend. A-Trend's been around for a while. Um, Looking for subwoofer boxes. Looking for vehicle specific. Okay, looks like you don't have any. Let's just do a quick Google search. Honda Civic subwoofer enclosure. I just want to show you one from the side. I know Wicked Caz will have one if it comes up. Where is it? 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 They're still around. They still make it. Let's see enclosures. All right, let's just look up Wicked. They make one for the TL. That's how I know about Wicked. Wicked Caz, maybe. So 06. Damn, these. Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, they must make really good boxes because they charge what they charge from, and people pay the price. Oh yeah, they deal with J Audio stuff. Yep. So look, you get yourself a top of the line J Audio sub and a custom enclosure for that sub, with a grill and everything. Do they have any pictures? No. Uh, they have any reviews for stuff? Let's check their Facebook. Reviews. Yeah, I mean, people like it. 94% recommended. People like their subwoofer stuff. I'm telling you, they don't look like a bad company. I've never dealt with them though, but let me start closing stuff. Those are your options, Dallas. It's up to you which way, how much time you really want to involve is really the thing that is the most. How much time do you want to involve with that project? It's you and your son, so I say try different stuff. It'll be a learning experience. Take the factory sub apart, see what it's like. It's not like you're doing this for a customer and it needs to be right the first time. But all right, let me finish adding clips to this. What time is it? Oh, I'm about to hit the hour. Okay. All right, so I'm adding clips to this. Make sure, just so you don't have to transfer clips. Transferring clips on the ILX dash kit is so annoying. On any dash kit, it's annoying. You have to try to take them off the factory one, and then you easily break them, or if not, you send them flying, and then you can't find it. It's the worst. So that's like an installer thing. Someone who might design dash kits might not even think of that, but when you do install them, you're like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna add clips to make sure. And then the other thing is I do always verify that I got two of opposite sides. I have sent someone two of the same side, so that's how I know. And then get my fat ass up and get these screws. So that's four right here. Add those four. All right, so now let's put this in the bag. Oh, in the bag. Make sure it's not scratched anywhere, dents or anything. Nope, we're looking good. All right. He could figure it out. Yeah, that's true. He could figure it out. Just get him a regular subwoofer box. Or the last thing we didn't talk about is like just like a load universal enclosure. So your coupe has a spare tire. You could go with spare tire enclosure. Sorry, this is for my other channel. But like JBL spare tire subwoofer. These are a little pricey, but I mean, this will solve your problem right away. What the hell is this? Sorry, I have not seen this. Power subwoofer for a second vehicle. Oh, this is the kit. Oh, this is. You might. You know what? This might not be a little bad idea for him, depending on what he likes to do. So they have a JBL. This isn't gonna. I don't have no idea how this sounds, but they have this hub. There you go. This thing's super expensive, but basically you dock it in your car, but then it acts as a subwoofer. But then when he's with his friends, so look, it gets docked in your car. It goes connected to the dock. It acts as a subwoofer when it's connected to the dock. But then it acts as a full range speaker when you bring it outside because it has a battery. So then it will play music and you can have like a portable speaker always because you're always going to mount it in the car and then you can bring it with you. So if you're a big outdoors person, that's cool, but that's not what I was trying to show you. What I was trying to show you was, um, oh, MDX has one. That might be a good one. But the JBL Bass Pro hub goes in the spare tire. It's shaped like a spare tire. It goes inside the spare tire though, so don't be confused. You don't lose your tire. It goes inside the spare tire so that you get to keep your spare tire, but this goes inside of it. And then it has a remote so you can control the bass on the fly. Looks like MVX launched one. Theirs goes in the spare tire as well. MVX is a solid brand. So I wonder what this sounds like. Was that a coupe? Nah, that's a Mustang. Okay. So this might not be a bad little thing also. For 300 bucks, 269, that's a pretty good deal. There's some on Amazon as well. But I don't know how good they're going to sound. What do they rate this one for? 900 watt. Come on, don't be lying, bro. Come on. I hate when people do that. 300 watts RMS is pretty good, though. That's good power right there. 300 watts RMS. That's good power. That would sound good. How much is this putting out? 100 watts RMS? Okay, okay. What about our JBL Bass Pro? This is doing 200 watts RMS. So, this NVX is not a bad deal right here, man. So that's your other option, is the tire sub. I think this is what I'm going to do for my car outside. So I'll show you that. So I think for this RAV4 right here, I'm going to do that. That MVX one seems like a really good deal. But not right now. We ain't got money right now. Maybe around Christmas time. Okay. What do the reviews say? People happy with it? Yeah. NVX is a Sonic Electronics line, though. They're like Sonic Electronics. I don't know if they own them. The same people own both companies, but they are like basically they only do business with them online. Like NVX, you won't find on Amazon, or they might be selling on Amazon now, but they don't sell it in other marketplaces. But all right, back to the yeah, man. Car audio has a lot of stuff that a lot of people just don't know about because there's just not marketing for it. So, but JBL has come around with some pretty cool stuff. I feel like that speaker is good for someone who does a lot of outside stuff, like a guy with a Jeep. Like he might want a little bit of bass, but he doesn't want to shake the world. And that's a good little sub. Then he has a speaker for whenever he's at the beach. Like he doesn't remember to have to charge it because he just plugs in. He just plugs in his sub and it's already charging. All right, so that takes care of our dash kit. Let's put that to the side. Now let's get our wire harness. Hold on, someone just texted me. So someone just texted me. Hold on, I'll hide that, but I'll show you this. So it says, "Hey Orlando, do you know how to disable the ANC?" And then this car right here is a TLX, 2015 TLX. How to disable ANC? You have to disconnect the ANC module. I'm trying to scratch my brain if I remember where it is, but I don't remember where it is, man. Is it behind the radio? Or is it in the glove box? Let me just look. I wish I could remember that. So 2015 TLX. A and C. This is always a problem when you're trying to add subs. Passenger dar passenger dashboard cover. Okay, so yeah, it's passenger side. Just taking a picture for him. Okay. All right. My opinion is probably going to be his best bet. And also use this for the trunk too. Yeah, agreed. Uh, agreed. In your coupe, I mean, your trunk's pretty big. You could do both. You know what you could do is you could take that spot and put a full range speaker. They make real slim full range speakers that get pretty loud. So, all right, but now we need to find this guy's order, and he has a Pioneer radio, but I don't remember if he has a premium, a base, or what he has. So let me go find that real quick. So he has a base, right? What year was his? 2016. Yep. One screen, base model. All right, so he has a base model 2016, and we're doing a Pioneer radio. Let me grab all that stuff. Sorry, just getting all this stuff, but I couldn't find the one harness that I need in there. It's just pissing me off because I don't know where it is. Here we go. Here's what I was looking for. All right, then we need a Pioneer harness. I just saw a harness in here. Was that for a Pioneer? All right, let's go get Pioneer. All right, YouTube, I'm going to put you on some game here that you may not have known before you started watching this stream. Hold on, I'm just zooming in the camera. Okay. So what I want to talk to you about is if you have a Kenwood radio with this plug, this is a 16-pin plug. The lower end Kenwood radios used to use this plug. They don't use them anymore. They changed the plug that they use. But look, this plug, let me switch cameras. This plug right here, go focus up. 16 pins, this is what it looks like. Come on, camera, focus up. It does not want to focus for me. All right, what I'm really trying to show you here. Wow, really is. Oh, there you go. Is the side. You look at the side of it. All right, this thing's pissing me off. All right, let's go here. So if you look at the side of it, you see the two little ridges. Then if we look at the rest of the connector, look at those two little ridges. Then We take a Pioneer plug, a current Pioneer plug. Look at the connector. Look at the little two ridges. You're like, yo, that's the same connector. And you would be right, sir. They are extremely identical. They would clip in, but what would stop them from going in are the ridges. So they are pinned differently, though. So if you do try to shove one into the other, you will possibly damage your radio. But the actual connectors look extremely, extremely similar. They do plug into each other. That's been the case for the last, I want to say, 8 years or so, 10 years maybe. But the reason why I bring this up is because I'm actually out of Pioneer connectors, so I need to make one. So I have to take the pins out of a Kenwood plug, and add them to a Pioneer plug, and then this is the master I have to follow. They are on the way, but we have ran out. Pioneer radios are back on the popular frenzy. Before it used to be, so during COVID there were no Pioneer radios, so you had mostly Boss radios, Jensen, different name brands. Then uh, it's slowly started to recover. You saw less Boss, more Kenwood, more Alpine, more Pioneer. And there's a good period where we saw a ton of Alpine, but now we're starting to see Pioneer get the market back, and we are doing a bunch of Pioneer harnesses. And that took me by surprise. I did not reorder at the right time, so now I don't have all the Pioneer plugs. So because of that, I have to make these. Luckily for you, I have plenty of Kenwood. They use the exact same terminals, same connectors, pretty much. Just those ridges are different. But I have Pioneer connectors. Like you see, this is a Pioneer connector. The ridges are the same. It's just the pins are in different places, but I can easily fix that. That's what I'm doing right now. Repinning, transferring pins. So I lose a Kenwood harness, I get a Pioneer harness, but this way I can fill your order, and me and you have no issues. You get what you want, and I get to ship it to you on time. Otherwise, we'd have to wait till the Pioneer connectors came in, and then God knows how long that would take. All right, cool. So our Pioneer harness is ready. We do need to get a parking bypass. This customer did not order one, but all right. So this customer didn't order parking bypass, but we're adding one to his order because for the radio he got, it's like pretty much essential to have one. So we're just gonna cover it in our case. Take that off. Take that off. All right, now I got a bunch of wiring to do. I have a whole video on how to wire this step by step, so I'm not gonna explain it all. I'm just gonna do it. What did you say? Truth be told, I'm living vicariously through him. The box that I had in my Chevy S10 was a square box that literally sat across the back seat with two. Yeah, man. Hey, he should learn that way too. Then you start to appreciate good stuff. Because my first amp, so when I was 18, I answered an ad to go sell cars from like some shady dealership. But they would take anyone without experience and they would train you. So I was a young kid. There was a bunch of older dudes. And this guy's like, what setup you got in your car? And I was like, setup? He's like, yeah, what do you got in your car? And I was like, oh, nothing, just like aftermarket radio. He's like, you ain't got no bass in that thing? I was like, nah, I don't have anything. He's like, look at this little amp right here. He's like, this little amp is stronger than anything, blah, blah. So then eventually he kept telling me about stuff and he gave me that little amp and I installed it, but I had no sub. So I convinced one of my friends to take the subwoofer from his dad's home theater system, and we ran that sub into the ground. Oh god, we blew that sub up, and we're still using it when it was blown. But that was my first sub, man. Everyone learns one way or another. Like, so if he got to use a sub from a home theater system, let it be. That's how you learn. I don't even remember the brand of that little amp, but that little amp did push that sub, man. Or get them an old school bazooka tube. They still make them. People still like those. Because no matter what it is, like, well, actually, if you tune it right and he doesn't mess with it, it won't blow. But like, I'm gonna say, be prepared for it to blow. But yeah, that little home theater sub used to hit. And my little Chevy, I had a '99 Chevy Cavalier that was a hand me down. That the convertible top did not work and leaked water, and the back window we replaced with plexiglass, and then that broke, so we replaced with like this clear film material. Um, that was my car, hand me down. But it was a Z24. That thing was fast. I had no idea. I didn't drive around like a speed demon, so I didn't know at the time. But like looking back, it was a Z24, baby, top of the line. Chevy with the red paint, convertible. Where if you put the top down, it wasn't going back up. You were gonna fight to put that top back up. All right, guys, the mailman's here. Give me 1 sec. Hey, how are you? Did you ever buy that 3D printer? So one of us right, sorry about that, YouTube. Just gotta get those packages to those people. All the other stuff we're shipping is via UPS. UPS won't be here for like later tonight. Now I can go drop off. Did I lose people? No, we still got two watchers. Let's go, baby. Oh, I wanted to show you guys my first car though. My childhood home that I wish we wouldn't have sold, but you know how it goes. So here it is. Here it is now. This is in New York. This house didn't used to be 2 stories, but usually we can go to more dates. And here it is in 2012 with your boy's car still there with the wrap that I was telling you about. So no more window, clear wrap so it would not leak. And this was my childhood home, baby, living in the basement. This would flood all the time. I actually had a disabled aunt who would use this this wheelchair accessible thing. And yeah, no, it was a convertible, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I was on top of the world. 2 door coupe convertible, bro. I was like 18 years old. I don't know where that TV's from. I think if we go a little bit down the street, we can get a couple more pictures. This way, more dates. No, not any more dates. Look at our neighbor's house. They had a nice house. Yeah, July 2012. If I'm here, could I choose more dates? No. But yeah, damn, this makes me sad, bruh. This feels like a lifetime ago. I would never go through the front door. I would always go through the side door. Backyard, my dog. Damn, so that's making me so sad. Hold on, I want to see this on Google Earth. Google Earth. I'm gonna buy that house. That's one of my goals. Buy that house back. It had a good property, man. Look, you see, this was the house. It had a rear deck, and all this property right here is for the house. And right here is the shed. I used to have a lacrosse goal right here. We buried our dog over here. Um, I had a lot of stuff for that house. A lot of memories in this house. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's a good house. I think it's worth like, what does it say it's worth? 500, $500,000 is ridiculous. What did my mom pay for it when she bought it? She bought it in 2003. That's when it sold. That's when we moved out, 2016. The boy was in college. But look what she bought it for, $227,000. And that house is worth half a mil now? Fuck out of here. No way. But, all right, let's get back to what we were doing. So, let me swap the cameras. Jeez, bro, this dog's crazy. And then let me cut this down and you see me start sweating YouTube's because it got really hot in here. When I open the garage, I always lose heat. I mean, lose AC. So the first thing I'm doing is there's a lot of wires here, so there's gonna be a lot of things to do. Oh, you know what? I forgot to transfer the speaker wires. Damn. Damn. All right, let me change that then. Sorry, guys. This isn't a premium. It's a base model, so all the speakers are going to be powered directly from the Pioneer radio. So it means I need all my speaker wires. But yeah, I wish I knew now what I knew back then. No, I wish that I knew what I know now back then, because we could have easily saved that house. It's just like so many things were wrong with it. And at the time, I was 16. No, I was like 18 when the house sold, 18, 19. So I was a young kid. I didn't fully understand what was going on. Um, but we could have easily just taken out a home equity line of credit, fix what we needed to fix, and be on our way. But you don't know those things as a kid, and your parents, they're don't like, especially immigrant parents, they don't know about all the different tricks that can be done with money and real estate. They just buy their home and pay their mortgage, and they're waiting for the day they pay their house off. But yeah, we could have kept that house. Could have easily just fixed it. Would have been no issue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then red, black, gray. Okay, well, we can use brown as the reverse and pink as the. Oh, that's not where blue white goes. I almost screwed that up. All right, YouTube. I gotta take a quick break. Um, I'm gonna finish this on stream, but I just want to go see how my wife and my child are doing. Make sure they don't need me for anything. Um, so let me just take care of these. You're welcome to chill around. I understand if you can, you gotta go, but I will be back. I just don't want to end the stream. I'll see if I can play you a video from my YouTube that maybe you haven't seen. So there's nothing on the screen. Uh, switch accounts, switch accounts, switch accounts, switch accounts, switch accounts. Here, a lot of people probably have seen this. That can be changed to 10, 12, 4, etc. Can't be longer than 15. And if you don't get in the car and you need to shut it down, just hit lock 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Without remote starts. The car will shut itself off. I'm gonna start it one more time so we can go over the takeover procedure. We have 1, 2, 3. Now for our takeover procedure, again, this is only available with the latest T-harness. You see we're going to have some time restrictions. We're going to unlock the door, open the door, close the door, press the brake, wait 3 seconds, and then we can drive off. Basically, what this means is you're taking over the driving or the driving responsibility of the car now. So what you're going to do is you're going to unlock the door, get in, you're going to close the door, I'm going to press the brake, and there's no need to press any buttons now. You can just drive off as normal. Before this T-harness was available, you had to, whenever you open the door, the vehicle would shut off, and then you would need to get in the vehicle and restart it. So I hope this video had some information that was helpful for you if you were thinking about getting a remote start. You can see it's not too complicated, but again, just bring it to a professional, avoid the headache, and just have a warranty and peace of mind with your investment. You know that you did that. You aren't going to have any issues, and if you do, you have someone you can bring it to instead of trying to call support or Googling and spending time with something you're unfamiliar with. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope this information was useful and helping you make a decision about getting a remote start or not. It's remote start season, so you don't want to be freezing your ass off. I highly recommend it. Again, just make sure you like the video, subscribe, stick around. We always have Acura content, different Acura audio related or maybe 12-volt related things. So if you're looking for more content like this, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Acura Audio Garage. Today, I am going to be changing the subwoofer in this enclosure. This is out of a 2010 Acura TSX wagon without navigation. So this is the base model. This won't have an amplifier inside. Got to get all these screws out. We're going to be attempting to install this 8-inch subwoofer. We know we need a slim sub, and also our bracket. This is the metal one, so it's super thin. So everything should go according to plan. I will later on film a video on how to get this out of your car. We have instructions I can send to you if you're looking for it, but it is complex and annoying to get this out. And I don't know if this is going to be worth it or not. We won't be able to test it. But if you ever wondered how to do this, I hope this video helps you. So let me get started. So first, let's just get all these screws out of here. The enclosure is held together with a bunch of these screws. I want to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 of these you have to remove. This is what they look like. So let me get all those out. All our screws out. We're able to just lift this up and out. And then leave this face down like that so none of the screws come out. And here's the factory sub. So on here is a single 2-ohm voice coil sub. So on the base, I don't know about the tech package. We have to open one up. But on the base model, this doesn't have a built-in amp. It would go right here. It just goes straight to the woofer. This is a single 2-ohm woofer, as you can see from that mark. This is a dual 4-ohm woofer, so we can wire it in parallel to 2 ohms. And we're going to install it in this location. So let's get this one out first. So our terminals do look to be soldered on both ends. So we are going to have to cut these or do something with them to get them out because they are soldered on. To actually remove the subwoofer, it's just 4 additional Phillips screws. So alright, so now with those out of the way, I can lift the subwoofer out. And now I'm going to unsolder these real quick. Alright, so here's the factory subwoofer fully removed. And this looks exactly like the same subwoofer that's inside your regular 2011, 12, 13, 14 Acura TSX mounted on the rear deck. The bolt pattern looks the same. It looks like they just mounted inside this way instead. So now we're going to test 2 things. We're going to test to make sure that our bracket lines up correctly. So I'm super excited to show you this. I think this is the first time anyone's seen this on video, so I don't know. So they're anodized aluminum and they're tapped so that these screws right here fit in with no problem. So you're just gonna come on. There you go. So there's the bracket. That's how the screw goes. So let's make sure this lines up correctly. It looks like we're gonna need washers though. That's the only thing. So it looks like we're good when it comes to mounting, but like I said, we're gonna need those washers. Nope, actually there's one thing in our way. So right here, this is the part that's supposed to line up with this, and because of this tooth sticks up, it doesn't allow this to sit flat. So we're just gonna cut this flush, and we'll use a pair of flush cutters for that. But I think maybe if I rotate it, I can get away from it. Let me see. Yeah, I think with that rotation, I should be able to make it through. We'll see. I'll let you guys know in the end after I mount. All right, so Kicker has the Comp R series. This is the Comp RT series. You can see right here. And what's different from this with the Comp R is that it's a lot slimmer. So you can see we're right at the same footprint as this woofer. So it should fit in our enclosure with no problem, but I'm going to do that test now. All right, so that looks good so far. All right, YouTube. sorry about that. I am back though, so you don't have to just watch a stream of me. You can watch the real me. Sounds kind of weird to say, but uh, I am back. So sorry about that. Um, did not mean to do that to you, but my wife did need my help, so it made sense to take a break then. Um, but now we're gonna get into this wiring, baby. So if you were interested in the wiring, that's the whole reason you clicked the stream. I'm sorry it's at the end of the stream, but we will take care of it right now. So the first thing was we need to duplicate this, which means that yellow and black go together, and peach goes to brown. No, sorry, and peach doesn't go to anything. So that's step numero uno. So how wide is that strip? Come on. So black to yellow. The reason why we do black to yellow is because yellow is normally the power source. But in this use case, we don't need a power source. We need a ground source. So yellow goes to black, which is the ground source. But ultimately, that should be called your source. Then your switch is still red. So your trigger is still red. And then the other part of the circuit that gets completed when your switch gets the 12 volts that it's supposed to get is the output, and that needs to be this brown wire. Remember, in order for your camera or that screen to work, ground needs to get activated. When you do this, you could use a Maestro for this. The iDataLink Maestro has programmable outputs that are negative, that are universal. So I might make a video on that. But the other thing you could do is use the relay like we do. And these are smaller relays now than the big ones we were using, so they're a little bit more friendly. But yeah, simple enough with a relay, so you don't have to buy a Maestro. Because Maestros are expensive, my friend. But they do a lot. I hope they bring them to the Acura platform with good integrations. All right, so now solder that bad boy up. Step one complete. Step two, let's add our steering wheel control wires to our harness. So to not trip anyone up, this has a gray, actually I'm gonna clip this and send this to a guy. So Trevor, this is what you need to do to get it working. But I remember they cut your wires. So they cut your wires, they might not connect it correctly, or they may not be connected. If they're not connected, that's your problem. If they are connected, this wire harness right here is your solution. So on this top row, we have two purples. Really count the 3 spaces. You have 1, 2, 3 spaces, and then either a gray black or a black wire. This gray black or black wire needs to go to ground, so that needs to go to black. That's step one. It's either going to be gray black or it's going to be black. Step numero uno. All right, so we twist that together with our black. That's step one. Then right below our black, there's a gray wire right next to the red. So if you look below the black, there's a gray wire, then there's a space, then there's a red wire. So this gray wire right here needs to go to the gray-red wire of the AXWC. So it'd be a gray wire with a red stripe. Those go together. Then we have a red wire that goes to this red wire. So red to red, that's simple enough. Then we're going to go black to black. And those are the 3 connections. It's that easy, that simple. Now, after your connections are made, I'm going to grab a black box so I can talk about that. So after your connections are made, you then have the AXWC. You're going to open it up. Come on. You're going to get your black box out of there. Black box out. This is what it looks like. You're going to plug your black box into this connector right here. Bam. You turn on the car. This black box has 2 holes. It has a hole here and a hole here. This hole, let me get you in good lighting. This hole right here, LED. This hole right here, reset button, you should hear a click. You should hear that. Reset button. LED, when you first turn this on, will flash red and green really fast. You hold volume up. So you're holding volume up. You're going to keep holding volume up on the steering wheel. It's going to flash red and green, and then it'll go flashing red, then it'll go flashing green, then it'll flash red. All those flashes mean something. You're not really concerned about that right now. You just want it to go solid red. It goes solid red. It programmed. You need to make sure this is plugged into the SWC port of your car. It's common for this to you plug it into the wrong place. You plug it into aux, or you plug it into the wrong thing entirely. Instead of the WR SWC port, make sure you plug this into the right place. If for some reason this doesn't auto program, you can manually program or you can reset. If you hold the button down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, let go. It's going to start flashing red and green really fast from this LED. You can hold volume up, go through the process again. If that doesn't work, you can manually program it. Something that trips a lot of people up. This always happens. It trips a ton of people up. Hey, I don't think this thing's working because it's not making any lights when I'm hitting the buttons. So once the AXWC programs correctly, it will only flash green really quickly when it first turns on, and then it will not show any flashes ever again. So it will work without operating the LED, and a lot of people think that like whenever they hit a button, the LED should turn on. That's not the use case. That's not how it works. If it programmed to your vehicle correctly, it will flash green really fast and then not flash again. Then if your controls don't work, the new radios, because it didn't program to the radio correctly, so you have to change the radio type. You can do that via USB with a plug-in and software, or you could do that with your steering wheel controls. You can hold volume down on the steering wheel, keep holding it, the box will turn solid red, and then you have to shift through the legend of radio. So like 1, I think 2 is Alpine, 7 or 6 is Pioneer. There's instructions. You need to look up the instructions on how to change the radio type. But as long as that one green light flashes, you're in good shape. It's just a matter of changing the radio type, and that's pretty simple. You can do that within the settings, like I showed you, like within the settings, like I told you in the app, or just with the steering wheel. It's super simple to do. We have a video that shows how to use the AXWC, and it goes over that. Metra has videos as well, so there's a lot of resources. They have a guide to do it. You don't have to try to guess from what I'm saying, but that's how the AXWC gets hooked up. So now we're moving on to doing all our speaker connections. So I need 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the speaker connections are here in the center, sort of say. They're like all of these right here. So they're color coordinated. Here you have a gray, black, and a gray. These aren't the ones that get hooked up to steering wheel control. These are for speakers. So make sure that you don't grab the wrong ones, and then you end up with no steering wheel controls working or your front right speaker not working. We had a whole fiasco with that when we first launched these because they were pinned incorrectly. You had to figure it out. But we now figured it out. That won't be an issue, but you need to make sure you wire it correctly. Otherwise, it could be an issue for you. All right, so now those are all in. We're going to strip. Then we're going to strip the other ones. Anyone come back? No. It is what it is, YouTube. Alright, so I stripped all of those. Now I can twist these together. Where's green, black, green, black, green, green, black, green, black, green, green. So we got our green blacks together. Then we're going to do our greens together. Basically, we're just color matching all these wires. Simple enough. This is what powers all the speakers. This is a very traditional install. I feel like your ILX is a very simple install when it comes to the audio side when you have a base model. But for the camera and all the other stuff, it is a little bit more complex. But if you don't care about that, you could just install an aftermarket camera and then you're all set. You don't have to get this exact harness in this configuration. If you want to plug and play install, then yeah, it makes sense to get it. If you're gonna do a whole custom system, Metro sells just this plug right here, this gray plug, and you could just use that and then set up your custom system exactly how you want. But if you want the easiest install, you want to make it plug and play for yourself, you don't want to have any guesswork, this is where it's at, baby. Yeah, $500,000 for that old house is crazy, man. The house was falling apart. I wonder if they did any renovations for it. I doubt it. It does have a full basement, so when we bought it, it didn't have a fully finished basement. We got scammed on the basement. My poor mom, bruh. Just not knowing things, not knowing English properly, not knowing things about this country, and still she made it out of all that, man. So props to her. She a real one for real. All right, so all those are done. I'm going to solder them real quick, just so I have less to solder later on. Make it real simple for myself. Where's my soldering? Let's get this one. Okay. That and this bottom one. All right, cool. So all those are soldered. Now we'll move forward to the rest of the wires. In this case, we have a bypass, so I'm going to use my bypass, and then we'll combine the wires after that. So my bypass goes black to black, blue to blue, and then usually, excuse me, the other wires are light green. Then the last wire would be light green. In my case, it's pink. Why do I hear like a truck? Oh, it's that guy's car. Sorry, I thought like I heard like a truck. Okay. And then black to black. What's up, doggos? What are y'all doing over here? You don't want it to be little a-holes last night. Wake up the baby. Alright, so we got our bypass installed. Hold on one second. Alright, now it's going to get tricky fast, so I'm going to try to take it step by step. Remember this from earlier, we have to add this to our mix, so we're going to add it on this side right here, which means our black is going to be more wires now here. So twist that together. We want to get a very thick sleeve of heat shrink, and then we'll put that over the blacks over here. And then red, we're going to need a thick sleeve of heat shrink as well, because our reds are going to match up. So do this red. this red. Alright, so let's do those big wires first, get them out of the way. So there's a bunch of black wires, I showed you that. They are all going to twist together. There is a relatively thick amount of wire here. This is like a thing in car audio. Sometimes you end up with little wads like this. But I'm still going to solder them, but leave them so that I don't solder them too much where it gets fully stiff. I just want to penetrate all the wires, but I don't want it to be so much that I can't bend it at all because that could be a failure point. Red is very similar. It's less wires though, but I do want to make sure that, again, I don't make the solder so hard that it like will break if I bend it even a little bit. Just want to add just a little bit so that it makes a nice tough connection that I can't get apart. But all right, now that those are over and done with, I can move on to my blues. So my blues, actually, there are two blues that are going to go to one blue. Well, two blues to two blues because of the bypass. These go together. So this, we're going to get some more heat shrink, actually. Come on. There we go. So that's one. That's two. That's four. All right, so our blues are going to go together next. And I know this looks like a freaking crazy mess, but this is just the reality of this harness. Once you tape it though, it doesn't look as bad, but when you're making the harness, it looks pretty crazy until you get to that point. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to do this yourself, feel free, but if you don't want to be like bothered, plug and play is the way to go because you don't have to worry about any of this craziness. All right, so now we're going to do yellow and orange. Let me sleeve the yellow, and let me sleeve the orange. Alright, cool. So now we can add solder to our missing wires here, which are going to be our parking brake, our steering wheel control wires, orange and yellow. Alright, cool. So now all of our wires are connected. We need to add our sleeves so that no metal connection is exposed. So that covers that one. We need a thin one for the gray wires. Alright, and slide that over. Slide this over. And bring that up here. If you ordered over the weekend, you're wondering when your order is going to get shipped. I'm about 3 days behind right now. I will catch up later tonight, but so like let's say you order the weekend, look for Wednesday for your order to ship. That'd probably be the soonest, or Tuesday night. If you want to watch it on stream, check out Tuesday night stream or midday Wednesday stream. If you have a particular order number you want me to stream at a certain time, let me know. I'll do that for you. I will wait till you're watching to do it. As long as it's not like you're like telling me to wait a week. I mean, it's up to you. I guess I could do that for you. It's just why would you want to wait so long? But all right, so now all our sleeving is attached. We just have one loose wire, which would be this brown wire. This is our backup camera wire. It's not going to get hooked up to anything. So we're going to now apply heat. We are on a little bit of a time crunch now because it's getting around the time UPS will be here. And this one is going for UPS ground. It's going to Florida though, so if I get it out today, he'll have it tomorrow. Because he's been waiting a long time. He's been waiting almost a whole week now with the weekend. So I'm sure he's a little upset. Like yo, like this took forever for me to get it. So I do want to make sure this goes out today with no issue. Alright, cool. So I applied all the heat shrink. Okay. Alright, Dallas. I will take a look, see how far you are, see when I can do it for you. This is order, so you have a reference. This is this isn't even maybe not. You said 103892. No, my friend, you are 10 orders away from me getting there. You've been waiting for a while. It says you've been waiting 4 days, but that's because of the weekend. So those 2 weekend days don't count. So it's still 2 days though. But like I said, I'm 3 business days behind. But I'll probably get to yours and tonight's stream if you're gonna be watching. But yeah, no, I have not shipped it yet. I have not made it yet. Please don't be mad. I'm working. It's not like I'm here just, you know, chatting away, not doing nothing. All right, yeah. Thank you for your patience, sir. I will upgrade it to 2 day shipping though, because it's gonna be like 4 days at that point. So you will get it faster, but it's really gonna be the same amount of time you would have gotten if you got with regular shipping. But no worries, man. All right, so now we need to add some zip ties. If you're wondering what the electrical tape was for, is just to organize the harness so it doesn't look uh, crazy, and I can tape it easier. Because now we're gonna add Tesla tape. So now we're gonna add our Tesla tape. Actually, before that, I'm just gonna tape these right here. That'll make it easier. My wife heated me up some food, so she's waiting for me. UPS is about to come. The pressure is on, baby. I'm just kidding. It's all artificial pressure. If I miss my food, my wife will be mad, but it's not the end of the world. If I don't have this ready for UPS, I can still go drop it off. I just have to go instead of them coming to me. So they're all kind of artificial timelines, but or time restraints. But either way, I'd like to give this to UPS so I don't have to drive the 20 minutes to go to the UPS store. I'd like for my wife to know I appreciate it, her heating up my food without me asking. So I want to make sure I get to that on time. All right, YouTube. So your ILX harness, you see, it starts to look less crazy and less crazy as I get further and further into it. Especially with the tape. The tape really helps kind of bring things together so that it doesn't look like this just crazy bunch of wires. But it is a crazy bunch of wires. I mean, I feel like any harnesses. All right, so now we're just gonna zip tie some things out of the way here. So remember, this single brown wire is your reverse trigger. If you're gonna do a backup camera, that's where you would feed the reverse signal to that brown wire. This would auto switch the screen. This right here is the parking brake bypass. That's so that you can trick the car into thinking you're using the holding the parking brake when you're not, or the parking brake is engaged when it's not. I should say it's a better way to say it. All right. So now the last part of this is I like to tie this off. See this right here? Antenna is very like jittery, so I'm gonna tie that off. All right, come on. All right, I like to tie the antenna wire with a twist tie to the harness so it doesn't get jacked up until you go to connect it. That's just my own thing because it's the only wire that's super loose like that by itself. All right, then we said black box gets plugged in. And bam, guys, there's your ILX harness. So we got the connector that goes into the Pioneer, a parking brake bypass so you can get into all the features you need to get into, especially those Bluetooth connections, a relay that will turn on the factory screen with negative output. Then we have your AXWC. Remember, this needs to get hooked up into the back of the radio under the SWC port, WR port, wired remote port. They have different names. Then we have our antenna here. This is for AM FM reception. So that gets plugged in to the back of your radio. And then your 3 connectors for the car. This would be antenna, power, speaker, steering wheel controls. This is what makes your backup camera work and that top screen work. So all those are super important. And then don't forget our dash kit. And now we're going to throw this in a bag. Just throw it in the bag. Yeah, it's not. Come on. Alright, then we need a box. We need a 12, 12, 8. I'm a short guy, so I need to use this little foldable stool thing to get to the top row of my boxes. It's designed this way though because I don't really go up here that often. These are boxes that get used way less. And as I sell more stuff and use more boxes, I'm able to reach them. It's just when they're full that I can't reach them without either jumping or going on the stool. I swore I just heard the UPS horn, but I was wrong. Oh, you can't really see what I'm doing right now, but I'm just preparing the box one second. I'll put it in front of you in a second. You need zip ties. I need to figure out where I have my last bag. No, I was. Hold on, let me. Alright, cool. So let's ship this, and then I'll answer your question real quick. No, so all of our harnesses come with the connector for the AXWC. It's just there on the harness. If you don't plug anything into it, you don't plug anything into it. But if you do, then it will just begin working. It's already wired for you, so all you got to do is just plug it in. So since you bought it, it'll be wired on our harness. When you get it, you just plug the little black box in. And like I said before, with the steering wheel control, make sure you plug it into the right port, the little headphone jack. And then the programming, it should auto program when you hold volume up. If it doesn't, then you got to reset it. There is situations where it will never program because either the box is bad. I've had that happen before. We had to actually replace the box, or your steering wheel control switch is bad. I've had that happen as well. You have to replace the steering wheel control switch. It really doesn't happen on anything newer from 2004, but like 99 to 2003, all those cars with that weird little switch all have that issue where they die or the resistance isn't right and it doesn't work correctly. All right, YouTube. All right, Dallas. Thank you for watching, man. You kept me going through this stream. I don't think that you're the only one, man. So I appreciate you. I will be back later tonight around 10 or so. I'm gonna go eat and I'm gonna leave this outside for UPS to take, and then I'll be back working. But I won't be streaming. So I'll see you later tonight, man. You have a good day. And hopefully you tune into the night stream.